8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
It's game time. Welcome to TeamBoydTV Live.
What's going on, everybody? What is happening? It's your boy, Big Q, Team Boyd TV Live. We going into the divisional round of the playoffs this week. I'm excited to be joined by my homeboy. We're going to talk about everything that went down in the super wild card weekend. Me and the fellows, we had a good time. JB got a super investing interest in what went down last weekend. And we'll start with him. We got the homie Jay Bizzle in the building, the Raven Shogun. What's happening?
Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all the various social media platforms, Team Boyd TV.
And I just want to give a shout out to one guy out there in Cleveland doing his thing. His name is Baker Mayfield. You hold it down doing this thing. I know Glass don't want to hear. Anyway, what's that? It's the Sage of Sports Glass. What's happening, homie?
You couldn't wait till I get my introduction in. You just quick. It's all good, bro. It's all good. Go ahead. Anyway, what up to my fam, Big Q, JB, everybody on social media. We appreciate you guys joining in on the show, and let's go ahead and get this show cracking.
So, fellas, check it out. In a COVID season, right? When we thought we weren't gonna get no football, we was on pins and needles, not knowing if our season was gonna actually happen. We made it to the first round, the super wild card weekend. JB, I had a lot of fun from most of the stuff that I got to see. It was pretty good for the most part. I mean, 2 games were pretty lackluster, but 4 out of the 6, Glass, you can't beat that. I think 4 out of the 6 games were fantastic. And I actually like this format. I think this format is cool. It's exciting. There's a little Nickelodeon spin got thrown in there. There's a Nickelodeon presentation. I don't know if you saw that. That was pretty cool as well. It was pretty dope. We'll get y'all's fellas take on what happened this weekend, JB. I'm going to let you temper your excitement. I need you to calm down for a second, okay? I need you to chill out. Hey, Glass, what you thought about the festivities, bro?
I agree with you. I love the format. I have something to watch all day on Saturday, all day on Sunday. The wife might not like it. It's all good. She understands. It's football season. It's the playoffs. They could do it again. You know what? I know we minus one bye week team, but the way it flowed, I like the way it was going. So yeah, I'll give it a thumbs up on this one.
I do too, man. I think the addition of those other 2 teams and those third kind of matchup for each conference added a little bit of excitement. I mean, we knew somebody's gonna get their face blown off, and I mean, we knew it was gonna happen, and it almost seemed like somebody didn't really belong, or whatever the case. But JB, I know you had a good time. Let me know how you felt about the weekend's festivities.
It was a couple of duds, but overall, I think the NFL did well what they were trying to do, and find various ways to get the games to be broadcasted other than major networks who ain't really feeling sports right now. Understandably, that's cool. But for me personally, to just milestones, the hump we got over, it's cool. It was
absolutely
great. It was first Sunday, so that was even better.
That's right. And I don't want to be the one that say I told you so. But I preach to y'all all season. I say this all. I do. Y'all don't give me enough props for it. But my algorithm, for the most part, I mean, we tipping around 89, almost 90% accuracy on that thing. Okay, I told y'all last week that Lamar Jackson wasn't only was the Ravens gonna get over the hump. Not only were they gonna win that game, but Lamar was gonna have a signature moment in that game. I said that last week, JB. And we saw that with was it a 22-yard run for the TD when he pretty much put the game on his back?
53.
Yeah, so I knew it was going to be a signature moment in that game because the dude was just that determined to make a mark and to to get this naysayers off his back about his potential in playoffs and stuff like that. I'm gonna give you a chance to react to that, JB. What's going on with it?
Well, I mean, for me, it was the type of game that you called. Glass and myself, we kind of all had like a couple of ingredients for how the Ravens was going to get that done, and it came into fruition. It was going to be a sluggish game. We stopped, took a phase of what they wanted to do out of the equation. We got cute at times, and we paid for getting cute. And then somebody, other than the people on Twitter, who was actually there that could make a difference, was like, stick to what you're good at, and they ran it. And Lamar ran it, and all the running backs that was available ran it. And you relied on the kicker. He missed one, but at the end, we was able to have enough, and that's all it really took.
Yeah, that one I didn't see coming, Glass. That I was like, come on now, that's like, what was this? Is this like first missing? I don't know how long, or whatever was the case. That I didn't see coming, but it didn't deter me. I just like it was really hard to bring energy to these games with no crowds, right? Or with limited crowds. But I don't know, man. I mean, in that game in particular, in the Pittsburgh game, which we'll talk about here in a minute, I don't know, man. It felt super energetic to me. What you think, Glass?
Oh, I loved it. Everybody had beef with each other. You know what I'm saying? It was a low. If you looked at the stats, both quarterbacks didn't throw for nothing. I got over Jackson 179, Tannehill 165. Both of their QB ratings are low. That's because they depended on the run game, just like JB said. Everything was on ground and physical, just like they both the teams like it. And the Ravens came out on top. Ravens deserved to stomp on the Titans logo. If you dish it out, there you go. Yeah, exactly. If you dish it out, you got to be able to take it. And
absolutely,
Ravens didn't have nothing else to say. So it was a good game. It was a good game.
Yeah, it was a good game. It was
Derrick Henry, 40
yards. 40 yards, right? I'm telling you, like, and so it's weird to me because this is the third time I think I've seen this with Derrick Henry. And it's funny to me because the conversation ain't the same as it would be if this was somebody like a Lamar Jackson or Cam Newton that I can think of, where it's always a big spotlight when they get capped off like that. But it's like the third time in like a season and a half where somebody done kind of put the parking brake on Derrick Henry, and nobody says a word about it, JB. Nobody says a single thing. It flies under the radar. You know what I mean?
So much is predicated off the success of Derrick's running in the game.
Yeah.
If he gets you for a big run or a TD or and you start like scheming and keying on him, Tannehill gonna have a day. 11 for the AJ Brown's gonna have a day. John Smith's gonna start. They're gonna start having, and so you just gotta play disciplined. And we stayed disciplined. There were some guys that on the D line, Pernell McPhee, who was just having a day.
Yeah.
So that's what it take. But it take everybody, and it take people not fooled by play or eye candy is what I called it. Play action,
right?
Rollout. You just gotta stay where you're supposed to be, and it worked. And lastly, they was loading up the pick on 24. They paid the price.
Oh, absolutely. But I thoroughly enjoyed that one. I thought that one was good. Baltimore, look, the more he can put a feather in his cap, he can get that monkey off his back. He cross over to a new era now. So he got a tall task ahead of him this weekend. We'll talk about it later. Glass, I don't know what's happening to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like that opening, just the opening of that game was bonkers to me. It was crazy. Pouncey, come on, world class, world class center, all pro, whatever accolades you want to throw on him, right? First play of the game, he snaps the ball like 30 yards over the man's head. Who was they playing against? They're playing against the Browns, right? Yeah.
Right.
Fall on it for a touchdown. Look, I don't know. Is that to me kind of and then the turnovers period that just kind of fueled, I think, the Browns in a way that I ain't never really seen them, play. I mean, when you're playing, like, we never really seen them play with a lead like that before, but you saw the confidence dripping out of them boys, man. Like, because they were playing with a lead. They didn't fear nothing, Glass. It was like they were doing whatever they wanted to do out there, and the Pittsburgh still just looked crazy. You know, I don't know, man.
I can't even call it, man. I didn't expect none of that to happen. You know, Pittsburgh Steelers is a storied franchise. They have a big fan base. My youngest daughter, she's a diehard Pittsburgh Steelers fan. She came downstairs, watched the game with me. She brought her Steelers blanket, got a Steelers shirt on, sitting on the couch, and she was so stone faced through the whole game. Marquise Pouncey, dude, I don't understand what was going on.
Right.
It ain't like you. This ain't like your first rodeo. Like you said, he got all these accolades with the Pro Bowls and all this stuff, and you snap to this man at least 1,000 times, at least.
Right.
And
right.
you sitting here, and he what? And Ben Roethlisberger's damn near 6'4", probably.
right.
Over his head, you know, and you know it was just embarrassing. Ain't no way in the world you in the playoff and let a team smoke you 38-0 in the first quarter.
In the first quarter.
Crazy. First half. First quarter.
Yeah.
So
it was crazy.
I ain't gonna call it an anomaly. It was just the Steelers wasn't prepared. You know,
No.
We said a team can't whoop you 3 times. Well,
no.
That's an anomaly.
So JB, we was
what it is.
We were worried because when the week prior, when Cleveland faced Pittsburgh, it was a team that they wasn't 100%. They didn't care about being 100%. They had a pretty high seed. They didn't really care. And they was like, we can lose this game. It ain't gonna happen to our seeding. I don't think they took the Browns seriously at all in that game, right? This one was a little bit different though, right? And it's like almost like, okay, well, we looked past y'all last week. We're gonna take y'all seriously this week because it's win or go home. Mm-hmm. But then they just completely like everything that could possibly go wrong went wrong, and I don't understand what happened there. I don't get it.
Well, it's 28-0, and even though it was early, and I'm familiar with both of these teams. I thought it was pretty early for the Cleveland to have a lead like that, and Roethlisberger having all that time left with his weapons and being at home. But they made it so that you couldn't overcome all those mistakes. Now, position, turnovers, sudden change, the defense playing like crap. It was like a collective effort. It was almost like the Steelers was trying to lose, to be honest.
That's what it looked like to me too. Yes.
The Browns was not doing anything special. Their go-to guys on their whole team, they really wasn't the spark that was pushing that onslaught like that. Landry eventually showed up. Myles Garrett eventually showed up, but they wasn't real reason. Baker didn't really. It was almost a non-factor. But it was just the way the Steelers was imploding, in my opinion, or they did implode.
They did, and let me ask y'all this, right? Because we watched the beginning of the season. We watched them rattle off 10 wins in a row, and and the whole time I'm sitting here chirping like COVID helped them out twice or whatever with the Titans or whatever, and so on and so forth. And the level of competition was a little, people said some weird stuff about, how they got to 11-0 or what was it, 11-0, 10-0, somewhere around in there. It was questionable how they got there. And then, and so I'm thinking as I'm watching this game, Glass, like, maybe what they're saying was true. Maybe COVID did help them out. Maybe they did have a easy path to the playoffs or whatever. Maybe the season was kind of like laid out for them. Maybe, they just look like they're better than what they really are. Because, in this particular situation, well, you don't even matter about that game. Talk about the 3 weeks prior. They lost like 3 games in a row. You know what I'm saying? So what was really going on there? Glass, in your opinion?
I think the best way I can say it, Ben Roethlisberger, let's be real, he just came off of surgery. It was elbow surgery. Had a year off. Sometimes some people tell me it takes longer than that. So when he came up to the lane when they was barnstorming, went to 11 winless, undefeated games. Some tells me his elbow got tired after a while, and then we got to this loop. Not knocking Ben Roethlisberger because he showed up to this game quiet as kept, 501 yards. He was trying.
Yeah,
and to me, I blame it to the offensive coordinator for Pittsburgh because this game you didn't hit. Juju Smith-Schuster did a good job. You hear nothing about Claypool.
Mm-hmm.
The run game, you can't rely on. Okay, when everything falling apart with the air game, your run game didn't show up. James Conner, sorry, you might not be there next year. I think he's a free agent.
Well, Smith Schuster might not either.
You know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying? So
that
you gotta
old.
find. Actually, what you need to do is go over to Cleveland and get one of them 2 running backs and bring them over to your side. You
Right.
it was just a one-dimensional effort. So during the season, it worked. And let's not forget, some of them games they squeaked by.
Yeah.
Right. So it wasn't like a legitimate win. So it just, you know what? It's just something that they need to clean up. Tomlin,
Yeah.
I know his job is not on the line, but he need to, start cleaning shop, clean up. Because I think they upon the cap. So they just need to get rid of some people. They got some old people on the offensive line. That's another factor.
Yep. Need more
So that's
a more explosive runner.
but that's the thing, JB.
Shout out to watch the football team. Efforts on Sunday with Tyler Heineke. Good job.
Yeah.
But they broke the Steelers and they lost out after that game. They didn't win a
I think so.
I don't think they were close.
True.
Right. But I'm afraid of what's next for Pittsburgh because I think that team that we saw, I mean, and obviously this was the year it was Super Bowl or bust. They had an advantage over pretty much everybody else. They had won more games than pretty much everybody else except, I think, KC and Green Bay were like 1 game behind them or something like that. And but they're gonna lose. Well, I can't believe they let Smith Schuster play all the way to like that game that we saw last weekend was his last game under his rookie contract, which is crazy to me. I ain't never seen a player of that magnitude play all the way through a rookie contract like that. Then they're trying to figure out what to do with Connor. Is Ben coming back? Like what's going on there? There's a lot of work there, right? On the other side of it, JB, before we move on, with a performance like we saw Baker and his boys do. Now, people have dissected this thing 1,001 different ways. You said you weren't really impressed. It was more of you think it was more of the Pittsburgh giving the game away than the Cleveland Browns kind of asserting their dominance. I see it a different way. Either way, they got the Kansas City next, right? And what kind of confidence you think they're gonna bring into that game? And do you think they gonna just they walking in with their chest pumped out, they're gonna get like brought down to reality quickly? What do you think gonna happen with that?
Well, we need one of them not to have their chest pumped up, and that's the quarterback. The rest of them feel confident. But I give them a chance because they got one thing that you need in the NFL that you could take it to anybody's stadium, and that's a run game. And they got 2 of the best. You take the and they've been able to have success running the ball on anybody. And so when you have that, you take the likelihood of your quarterback making a mistake. You keep Pat Mahomes on the sideline. If you could just stick to how boring that is, they got a shot at winning the game.
They do. I mean, it's they got a shot. That's gonna be interesting. We'll talk about that game a little bit more. Glass. And the surprise game. I think this is the only game I think I got wrong. I ain't saying that that I ain't trying to blow smoke on that. But I'm just saying the one game that it was a surprise because none of us we all picked Seattle to win this game, right? Because none of us expected Jared Goff to play. He came into the game, and the game just turned into a different. Oh, and then of course did we have Donald at all in this game? Aaron Donald, did he play at all? A little bit, right?
Yeah, he was having a hell of a game too.
Yeah,
craziness. Like so that game was a surprise. I fully expected the backup quarterback and a sparing. Aaron Donald, I fully expected the Rams to fold up under the pressure of the. But then again, I mean, I was worried about what Seattle was going to bring to the table. Glass. I thought the offense was kind of lackluster, and in a high profile situation like this, I didn't think they had enough to get it done. But man, I wasn't expecting it to be like that, though. What you think about it?
You know what? It just comes to if you got a good quarterback, they have a great quarterback. Let me just go ahead and put it out there like that. They got a great quarterback in Russell Wilson, but there's only so many times you go to that well and get that water to bail you out. Just like anything, if your quarterback get touched a lot of times and he out of whack, you got to go to your safety valve, which is the run game, and that run game didn't show up. Carson, I think he was under 100. I want to say 70-something yards. It wasn't working, so they had to go back to Russell Wilson throwing it in the air, and it was not working. They tried and they tried to get back up in there, but it was evident that the Rams was not going to let them put them points on the board. And on the other
Right.
hand, the defense on the Seattle defense to me didn't show up because even though Jerry Goff came back and played well, he shouldn't have been able to do what he was doing.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
this all on the
Right.
Seattle defense, and I think if I ain't mistaken, they got rid of the offense. Seattle got rid of
They
the
did.
offensive
Yeah.
coordinator.
Schottenheimer. Yeah.
So that just tells you everything you need to know right there.
Yeah. It's crazy. I think JB. I think they are more of a rude awakening this weekend than Cleveland is. I think Cleveland know exactly what they're walking into, but I don't know about this Rams thing. Well, like I said, we'll talk about that one a little bit. But what I really am celebrating this week, and I think we might have to crown a new favorite going into the rest of this tournament. Well, not JB, because he got a horse in the race. Buffalo, man, look, they look really strong. They got the young quarterback who's doing his thing. I'm gonna tell you, bringing Diggs to this team was number one was the worst thing that I don't know how Minnesota let this happen. First of all, I don't know how they let
Kirk Cousins happened. That's why that happened.
ridiculous. That was and look at the difference that one player made to two franchises. Right, one of them is back in the playoffs for the first time in 17, 18 years. Right. It's been since what 2003, something like that, right?
Well, they were in the playoffs last year.
Oh yeah, but they didn't win though. That's right. Yeah, they didn't win. That's right. But won their first playoff game in 17, 18 years. The other team ain't even. They were a perennial playoff team. They were getting sent home in the first week every year, but they showed up, right? Nowhere close this time, right? One player did this, JB. I mean, look, I know they got a dynamic, quarterback and a pretty ferocious defense. But Diggs, man, I think he was a difference maker. He was the game changer there. What you think about it, JB?
Yeah, that 100%. And if they could get like a little bit of water out of the rock of Cole Beasley, they pose a legitimate threat. But I saw some things Phillip was doing to them too, and Jonathan Taylor. It's a little bit suspect. Now, granted, the stakes high, and teams was rising to the occasion. Shouldn't have come down to a Hail Mary with a guy like Phillip. I picked Phillip to show up in winning time last week. And he ended up with the ball in winning time, and it just first, second, third down did not go. It was like, what are y'all doing? So hadn't they got behind the chains, I like Phillip Rivers to put him in the least position to kick the field goal to win it. That is, they lost. They lost yards.
So they started out pretty fast, and then you're right. They let Phillip Rivers get back into the game, which I was surprised about. I didn't think in what I think is Phillip Rivers' last game, I didn't think he was going to be that big of a factor like he was, Glass. But I mean, he pretty much really, he was trying to win that thing. He was really trying to bring it home. But
they actually could have won it. They dropped.
I mean, they was having a shootout. Allen looked good, but then Phillip Rivers matched them up. I think they damn near was identical when it comes to the stats. Both had threw 2 TDs, had a high QBR rating. Phillip Rivers, I like him. I like his spunk. He doesn't win as much as I think he should, but he gonna come to the game and gonna shoot his arm off. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it was a good game, just like JB said. There's some holes in the Bills that need to be cleared up. One thing I know, Jared Allen, he didn't try to put the team on the shoulder, which going to Stephon Diggs being on team. I think Stephon Diggs, he's that how you say, the magic eraser. But everything Allen be doing wrong, Stephon Diggs is corrected many times than none.
I think so too. We got Josh in the building, and we got Smoke Swag in the building. A few folks in the building tonight. How y'all doing, man? Y'all enjoyed the games, man. I hope y'all enjoyed them as much as we did. You know what I mean? What? I'm missing the one game, Tommy's game, right? Look, and this week, Brady and Breeze, the battle of the last, two of the last 2 gunslingers. I think we eliminated one of them in Roethlisberger. One of them is still there in Rodgers, but you got Brady and Breeze. I thought the Saints game was one of the games that I didn't think was all that exciting. That was a Nickelodeon game, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it was. I think it was a Nickelodeon game. And
Fitting deadbeat.
yeah. So they had to put SpongeBob all over that to make it kind of exciting or whatever. But you know what I mean. But this matchup though with Breeze and Brady though is gonna be good, and we'll talk about that one as we move on into the show. Before we get into that though, we got some news we got to dissect. First, I want to get into the story first because we've been kind of unpeeling the layers of the story as the season been progressing, right? Talking about the Houston Texans and talking about everything that's been going on with the Texans this year. At the beginning of the year, JB, they lost a bunch of games. I think they lost 5 or 6 games in a row before they won their first one, I think, after the coach got fired, right? Coach/GM Bill O'Brien got fired. Then J.J. Watt goes on this tirade about how he wasn't going to stick around for no rebuilding and this, that, and the third. And then a few weeks later, he went off on his teammates about lack of effort. Now we got this Deshaun Watson situation popping off right now, okay? And how Deshaun Watson felt like he was disrespected or wasn't shown enough respect in the process of bringing in a new GM. They just went in and hired a new GM, even though Deshaun had done, brought names and he wanted to discuss some stuff with them. They completely ignored him. Then on top of that, you got Andre Johnson coming, like turning over his grave, popping up out of his grave, dropping his 2 cents into the mix. It's a complete and utter mess right now. It's $156 million on the table. I think, and I'm just going to say this before I turn it over to y'all, I think Deshaun can bitch and moan all he wants to. They got him on the hook for $156 million. And it's a situation where he's gonna have to just shut up and play. I don't think he got no leverage in the situation. I think he's stuck, and he can be mad about it all he wants to. I don't think he can do nothing about it. What y'all think? Glass, you can go first.
Yeah, that window, that hole is real tight, real close. But if you put up a ruckus and the team give out a nice little deal, I think they're willing to give it up. Man,
is he gonna get some of the money back? And that big guaranteed contract he got? Yeah, see?
Hey, I hate that, man. I like me some Deshaun Watson. You know what? And they was on the right path, man. It just
they were.
They when they got rid of the GM and made O'Brien the GM, that's where it all messed up. You got rid of all the players, the good players that you shouldn't have got rid of. Just like everything that you said behind the scenes. To me, it's a slap in my face. You telling me I could say my say in the front office, and just like you said, behind my back, okay, who you want? I'll tell you who I want. You ain't even thinking about it. You just throwing my picks in the garbage. That's a slap in my face, man. So to me, just just because you pay me $100-some million don't mean you can do that to me and think I'm just going to turn the other cheek. There's going to be a way to Deshaun Watson. He's a gentleman. I ain't gonna say he's gonna do something dirty, but it's gonna get to the point where they're gonna have to trade. I ain't gonna say next year, but the year after, he might have to get traded.
I don't know, JB. I think Deshaun Watson been a ticking time bomb since the better part of the season. And what would it have cost? What's his name? Cal. What's his name? The owner. Whatever. How much would it cost him anything to talk to those guys that Deshaun had on that paper? Like just to talk to them, just to bring them in and have a conversation. Even call them up on Zoom or something. You know what I mean? Like make an effort to talk to these people. How much would that at a cost? I just want to know.
Hey, let me just jump in real quick, JB. Remember when the owner, I think he passed away the first.
Right.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
He said, we can't let the inmates run the asylum.
Exactly.
Right.
They just kept the same mentality. You know what?
It's crazy.
That's what Deshaun tweeted. Some things never change.
Last
week, Wednesday. But I'm torn between the situation. I do like the fact that him and JJ see that they're going down the same path since the Texans existence. It's just fun times for the people at the top. They don't really care what go on. They do what they have to do so they don't face backlash from the sports pundits. But I'm torn. But on the other side of it, we seen what happened to Dak Prescott. We've seen what happens to guys that can't get paid that should be paid, and he got paid.
Right.
Now, wanting it all, that's just something that don't happen often in the NFL. You know, you either gonna be the guy, and you have to go through it, and they end up chewing you up and spitting you out, and then they finally get where they seem to get where they're going, or you good enough to get paid but don't, and that's the difference between him, his success, and Dak's not. So I think he's gonna have to use the switches and levels, inside
Yeah.
of your playing years and your contract to transition out of there. I think.
So here's the thing. I just want to just bring this up because ain't nobody's talking about this, right? The first thing that crosses my mind is like, just because you gave me this money, do they give you the right to disrespect me, right? That's the first thing.
They say it so.
Right, and secondly, we saw what happened with Cammy. Then they beat him up and bruised him up and made him unusable, and now he can't earn a living no more, right? He still got plenty of prime years left in his young life, but he ain't never gonna make the kind of money that he made in Charlotte because his body ain't gonna let him. Right?
And that's the mindset that the players trying to get rid of.
Right.
That's what it is.
It's crazy.
Once they give you a contract, they feel like they own you.
I think Deshaun's screwed. I think it's
Hulu live sport commercials and all this old nonsense.
Right. I think he's screwed, and it's a shame. You know what I mean? I saw over the last week everybody was putting together these trade packages. Want to give up the farm for and I was just like, you know what? Y'all crazy. Y'all can do this whole like they talking about bringing him to Charlotte for Christian McCaffrey, Shaq Thompson, a 2021 first round and a 22-20. That's the farm. And you still got that $156 million tab to pick up as well, right? Come on, man. Ain't nobody doing that. It just ain't happening.
You don't think the Miami Dolphins going to do that?
No, I don't think so. No, not what they just brought Tua Tagovailoa in there.
The rest of the way,
right?
You won't be able to get talent nowhere else because that contract too big. Hey, there's contracts that was half his size and their teams caught trouble. Look at the Jamal Adams situation.
It's crazy, man.
The David Johnson situation. If Bill O'Brien wasn't such an idiot, that trade, if he didn't want 10 Hopkins gone so bad, he was dumb enough to pick up that David Johnson's contract.
And I'm telling you, right? If that one move hadn't been made, if that one little whatever weird tick he had in his brain to make to sign off on that, I think Houston would have been close to a Super Bowl by now. O'Brien would probably still have his job. JJ wouldn't be bitching the way he bitching, and Deshaun wouldn't be saying what he's saying right now. It's all. I mean, look, they don't fire Bill O'Brien now, and they owe him money, and so he's sitting at the crib laughing about the whole thing. You know what I'm saying?
Like, job. I think he's gonna be
right. Craziness, man. And then before we wrap it up, I just
financially how much in ruin the Texans is for the moves they made.
Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that Deshaun needs to be pretty grateful that they was able to pay him.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But look at the price you had to pay. Look what you had to lose to get there.
Listen, the money guaranteed.
They roster to make room for him.
His contract is a beautiful thing. I mean, it's a beautiful contract, and a lot of it is guaranteed. On the financial front, I think Deshaun is good. He just gonna have to withstand the next 3.5, 4 years of dealing with this BS because he ain't getting out of Texas without like a lot of smoke, and it's going to have to be a lot of smoke in order for him to get up out of there.
Well, one thing we could say that Deshaun Watson's lucky on is that the Texans went and got Laramie Tunsil.
Because
let's not forget, maybe 10, 12 years ago when they had David Carr, they treated him like crap.
Yes, they did.
I think he had the most sacks ever.
Man, listen, the track record.
Sacked a lot too.
He did. Yeah, the track record of this team is crazy, man. Like if you go all the way back to the Carr was like their first quarterback, right? Mm-hmm. If you go all the way back to then to now, they track record. The only person who they've actually treated with a tiny bit of little bit of respect has been J.J. Watt. And then of course, lately, it's been a little weird there too. But everybody else, man, they could care less about you, man. And that's why I just want to read. I just want to read this tweet.
Care about none of them guys, man.
I just want to read this tweet from Andre before we move on. So he says, "If I'm Deshaun Watson, I will stand my ground. The Texans organization is known for wasting players' careers. Since Jack Easterby walked into the building, nothing good has happened in or for this organization, and for some reason, someone can't seem to see what's going on. Pathetic. That's what Andre Johnson said, and I found out later that Andre Johnson was some type of liaison. He was supposed to be in talks with the management about bringing in the GM as well. He does that as well, and they didn't consult him either. So. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So it's a bad situation. It's rough. Now, we move on.
Man, it ain't even about hiring, on the Rooney Rule. It ain't even about that. It's about you already had preconceived notions about who and what, and so you didn't even explore it. So that tells the players you ain't trying to win.
Right.
And
again, I'm telling you,
really about.
I think all they need to do was just talk to those guys, man. I mean, a Zoom call don't cost nothing, man. I mean, we living in the pandemic era. Ain't nobody meeting face to face. No way, right? I just to play. I'd be pissed off too. You're right. Okay, so
I'm pretty sure some rules that we unbeknownst to us about how that whole thing worked, but to just blatantly ignore your star quarterbacks, is
right.
Just to blatantly just was like, we just need you to throw the ball type attitude.
Right. So a couple years ago, about 3 years ago, I was celebrating one Doug Peterson for the moves he made, and in my opinion, I felt like he outcoached the greatest coach of all time in the biggest game of all time when Doug Peterson took his Philadelphia Eagles to bring home that city's first championship. 3 years removed, they done showed him the door. And this is what Doug said on his way out the door. Like, the reason why he was like, I'm bouncing is because, quote unquote, I'm tired of people telling me what to do. Now, that to me, that's what he said, right? So I'm
that
like,
tells me everything right there.
So I'm like, okay, I get it. You have some type of cachet because you did deliver the city its first championship, right? So you're gonna eat Philly cheesesteaks for the rest of your life, right? So you feel a certain type of way. So you write a book about it, right? He done wrote a book about it. All this, then so he enjoying the fruits of his labor. And I understand he got a little bit of ego because he done did something that ain't nobody else has ever done. And maybe he pushing the Lorries and all of them, maybe pushing them too far. I don't know what the situation is, but for him to say, look, they want to fire me, but you know what? I'm tired of people telling me what to do. So if that's the way y'all feel, I'm out. That's what he said. So JB, is that cockiness or did he feel like some type of way because he delivered that championship, so he felt like he should be treated with a little bit different. I don't know. I feel like he was trying to push the owners around a little bit. That's the way I feel about it. What you think?
Well, that's what Orlando Scandrick said was a problem there. That they still riding the stale and old Super Bowl win. They ain't trying. They wasn't trying to repeat. They wasn't trying to be relevant after that, and that's the problem. So, in my opinion, if that's where you're gonna get stuck at, if that's what you wrote your book about, and all the pictures in your house is about, and every time people talk to you, that's what you're talking about, you need to go.
Yeah, but that's what it is.
That's over.
Yeah,
that is done and over. You're in the history books. Well done. But what about struggling? I mean, what about now? What about last year? What about the year after that? I mean, the ensuing season after the Super Bowl season was horrible, and they let him get away with excuses because of X, Y, Z. But the one after that and the one after that was he declined as a coach, as a win-loss
absolutely
record,
And the one thing that Glass is on his resume that I think is what brought us to the situation is this quarterback situation right now. I ain't trying to speak for Jeff Lurie and none of them. I ain't trying to speak for them. But all I'm gonna say is this: if we had the one guy that you told us to draft and we brought him in, and we brought Wentz in, and he was a stud that season, and he won like 9 games or whatever, and then he got hurt, and we brought in the other young kid, and he somehow got us to the Super Bowl, and we won the damn thing. Can we at least reward this man for helping bring the? I ain't saying it completely cut Wentz off, but the way they did Foles after the fact was a little bit weird in my opinion, right? And then they go in.
Get paid. So he
Absolutely.
deserves
Then
to start
then
somewhere.
so basically they chose Wentz over Foles, even though and I know people say like who did the most of whatever. It's either here nor there. I think that they could have treated Foles better, and I also think the reason why Wentz has never really paid out for him. He was constantly injured, right? Never really rose to that level ever again in his career. And I think that's what got us in this situation where we at now, because he keeps choosing Carson Wentz over what's the right thing to do, and then he's trying to tell the management, the owners, well, I'm tired of y'all telling me what to do about my quarterback. This is my team. Y'all pay me to make these decisions, but y'all trying to tell me what to do. So if y'all want to part ways with me because of that, I'm out. And I think that's where we at. What you think, Glass?
You said everything I need to know right there.
Right.
That's the reason why I clearly see what he did against the Giants. I'm sorry, against Washington in that game. Just like you said, Carson Wentz. I was on the Carson Wentz bandwagon. He, like you said, he came into the league blazing, almost became MVP that season when he got hurt. And just like you said, the way you thought about Nick Foles, they should have kept Nick Foles and got to put Wentz in the win. That's probably how he felt. They kept Wentz. You're like, okay, cool. I'll work with what I got. Wentz wasn't working. Then you give Wentz a damn near $126 million extension. I'm sure Peterson didn't sign up for that. So he said, damn.
Right.
Just like, let me just go put it like, I'm just going to make a comparison with the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
Nagy didn't pick Trubisky, but that's
Right.
what you got to work with. So I'm trying to show you. So he doing plans and schemes to show y'all this man ain't working for me. When y'all get rid of him.
Right.
That's the same thing Peterson's doing over there with Wentz. This man's not working for me. Will you get rid of him? So you you draft Hurts. He's showing you Hurts is better than Wentz.
Right. Right.
So it's like there's so many things that he's trying to show management, and I'm just gonna put out here right now before I forget. The GM should have went before the coach.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's like Peterson showing y'all time again this quarterback ain't working.
So you said Peterson's
throw in Sutterfield.
So you said Peterson's remarks were justified. That's what you said.
Yeah.
What you think about it, JB? That's hilarious.
Man, we done seen this in so many trash organizations, man. Before Cleveland turned the corner, I mean, hopefully this ain't an anomaly or outlier, but before they turned the corner, we saw it in Washington. With Snyder was just wanted to sit in the suite and drink. New York with the Tannenbaums. I mean, it was so many places we see this. I mean, it when it's trashy like that, or disconnected, or it's just a place where nobody even thinking, they just going by just what they need to do at a particular time in the year. It all looked the same. Detroit, it all looked the same. It's the same.
Yeah.
When a team organization is not trying to win, it looks the same. There's no way that players would just exit places like that. Jacksonville, all that collection of talent, they just all want it out. They all want it out, and that speaks volumes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is this the first year that we've seen more dysfunctional teams?
Yes.
Teams?
Absolutely. I mean, it's this, and I don't know if it's because of the pandemic year, or maybe people just feel a different. I think people feel a different way because they disconnected. Like, I think if people were together more, things would be different. But I think because everybody kind of, you get people more time to think, and because the distance between us, I think people keeping it real a little bit more. I think the realness then rose to up to the top, because I got you on Zoom, right? I can say whatever I feel like saying. What you gonna do to me? You know what I mean, right? I don't know. It's something's different.
That's including our teams. Carolina, Denver.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
Up there where they just off the chain.
It's at least 8 or 9 of them that need some serious help.
I would say more than that, man. I say there might be 4 to 5 legit teams. That's in the compared to everybody.
Right. It's been a rough year for everybody, man. It has, man. It's been a rough one, and I want to see how. Listen, I think we got more coaching movement this year than we have in the past few years as well. I know we started with some early firings, but then the firings keep on happening after the season is over, and it's just like some of them were weird. Like the Peterson thing, didn't see that coming, right? That just came out of the blue.
So just to look at it, like for us, from the outside looking in, we saying that GMs, head coaches, staff, draft night, players, trades, all this stuff, free agent acquisitions, all this stuff take place and all supposed to accommodate to equate wins, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
When it don't, and you do got talent, or when a stupid move made, like you just gave a quarterback $100 million plus contract, but then your first round draft pick is the same position. When you see stuff like that, and when you trade like the best player on your team for literally nothing, a 6th rounder,
right?
Nothing.
Yes,
okay?
it's crazy, man.
Stuff like that. To me, that tells me, because it's a game at the end of the day. You got all these people in place, all these moving parts to equate wins on Sunday, Monday, and Thursday for a win. It tells me there's corruption happening. That's it, because you care about it but the game.
Absolutely.
Somebody stealing money, caring about that stuff, come out about what Roger said about McCarthy, worrying about massages and golf and all this stuff.
Yes, right. It's crazy.
$9 billion plus year annual business. You telling me you can't all that money, you can't put enough people, you can't pay enough people to line up to get you a win. Stop.
Yeah, guess not. I mean, look. It was 4 teams in the NFC East combined. They didn't have a winning record, right? Then you have the NFC South, where only 1.5 teams actually. Well, I give Saints a little bit of props. Half the division sucked, right? Out west, like in Glass, like I think only 2 of your teams represented, right? Well, maybe 1, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's crazy. Like I think the AFC East is the only functional division. That I can really AFC North, your division, JB, the only one. Mm-hmm. That's the only the AFC South is a complete horrible mess with the stuff that's going on in Houston and Indy and Jacksonville. Like it's a mess everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. I don't think we can do it.
If you paying any player hundreds of millions of dollars, and this is a game that your kids play, okay? So ain't nothing doing your son. You paying all these people this money. You paying one person that much money.
Exactly.
You got 3 players on your team that's averaging at least $12 million a season. You can't. If they don't equal a win for that season. We ain't talking about for that season or for that length of that player's career. We're talking about decades of losing. Explain.
It's crazy.
It's
crazy.
I've been shouting that for years. Do I really want a $100 million quarterback?
Right, you've been saying it for real. You've been saying it, and actually, how many times have $100 million quarterback actually panned out? I don't think it never has.
I don't think it has.
Has it?
No.
I don't think it has.
Pay cuts.
Yeah,
right. He did. Right, he did. And usually the $100 million come after you win the Super Bowl, and those quarterbacks never make it back, right? So you're right.
So they basically paying you to retire. They basically paying you to at some point, because you ain't gonna live out that contract. Cam Newton got his last year of it, and they made him kick rocks.
I mean, Russell Wilson might be the closest one earning his keep around here. He might be the only one.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes, right? Absolutely, right.
But see, he really got it this season, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah, he did. So
when they get rid of all his weapons,
right? Absolutely.
Money.
Well, I mean, we
want to get paid. Kelsey's up.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't know how long they got Matthews for. The defense is already kind of anemic in my opinion, but
it is.
Watkins gonna want something.
Yeah.
There's so many things, man.
So they on the mission this year.
It take money to do it.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we can talk about this all night, but
you gotta have money.
But unfortunately, time is against us. Let's go ahead and button this one up by doing this weekend's festivities. We only got 4 games this week. Is that right?
Yep.
So should be good. So the cream rising to the top. Let's do it, Glass. What's happening?
All right, man. Starting on Saturday.
We're pressing the wrong buttons all night. My bad. Go ahead.
Los Angeles Rams going up to Lambeau Field to play the #1 Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, just like I said earlier in the show, man. I think the 2 teams that I think are walking into so it's probably the Rams and the Browns. But the Rams gonna get smacked around something serious. Now, listen, I say that, but then we saw what happened with the Steelers, man. And the playoff situation is a completely different environment. Things look a little different, and they feel a little different. And I don't know, maybe the Rams feel they got some confidence. Maybe they feel like they can give the Packers a go. I don't think so, though. I think the Packers will survive for one more week. And actually, I think the way things shaping up, I really don't see nobody in the NFC right now that can probably stop them. I think they probably going to be my Super Bowl pick. So I like Green Bay. Yeah.
Okay.
JB, is on you.
I think this game will be closer than we think. I just think that golf won't hold up because don't he got a thumb or something?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that. I don't. Is it on his throwing hand?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And take it to
so
frigid temperatures.
It's gonna be cold, and we're talking about the LA Rams in Green Bay.
Right.
I think it'll start out well, and the running game between Green Bay's running game and Adams on Ramsey. I'm sure Ramsey will try to follow him around. I just don't see. I think the Rams they make crucial mistakes in the second half or late in the fourth. They give Green Bay the win.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a mismatch, though, Class. I really do. It feel like a mismatch to me, but you know.
You know what? I'm gonna give. I agree with both of y'all. I think it's gonna be a close game. It's gonna be a good game. I think the Rams gonna give it they all. Just like JB said, golf hurt. Now we find out Donald's hurt. Aaron Donald with the rib injury.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he's still gonna play, but still and yet. I thought when Green Bay lost the left tackle, what's his name, David Bakhtiari.
Right.
I thought they was gonna mess him up. Evidently, I was wrong. They rolling through people. They got a week's rest. Aaron Rodgers out there having fun finally for the first time since he's been there. He got weapons. He got some weapons. Not as many weapons I think he should have, but he got some weapons. If Jalen Ramsey stick with Devontae Adams, they could get to the run game. Then he got that tight end. I can't remember the tight end's name right now. Robert Tanyan, I think it is. Anyway, it's at Lambeau. It's going to be cold. Just like y'all said. Boy Wonder, Sean McVay, he ain't got enough stuff in his head to come out to get this win. So I'm definitely going with the Packers on this one.
You can't simulate and prepare for minus 15 degrees in Lambeau in January. You can't. I'm just sorry. It ain't going to happen.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's supposed to snow around here on Friday, so that's going to be a plus for Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers always said, I can't stand the snow, but I know y'all can't stand it worse.
Right. Yeah.
Even if it don't snow, it's going to be cold. And,
you got a California team coming out there.
There ain't nothing like being down 2 possessions in the cold and you can't rally nobody on your team because so
it's tough, man.
You get to the point where you can't wait for the game to be over.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And if anybody in this COVID season got home field advantage, it's Green Bay. You know what I'm saying?
KC too, don't forget.
KC as well. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Buffalo. It might snow there too.
True.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, next up we got the number 5 Baltimore Ravens going up to Bills Stadium and play the number 2 Buffalo Bills.
Once again, I feel like the Ravens are bringing Showtime to the playoffs. This one's two-sided because the Bills bringing a little bit of Showtime with them as well. Man, I like this game, and they playing where? They going to Baltimore? No,
Buffalo.
They're
Buffalo.
They're going to Buffalo.
Yeah.
Wow, this one's gonna be good. Man, now this one, oh man, I'm kind of torn on this one. This one I'm gonna say. I think Buffalo is driven. I think they are driven, but I know Baltimore and the Harbaugh got his boys driven as well. A little bit more on the line for the Buffalo team than it's kind of hard to say too because Lamar still ain't got a trophy yet. So this is tough. This is the toughest one I think out of all these games to pick. I think I'm gonna do this. Buffalo Bills at home. They're going to bring everything. The Ravens better bring everything too. You know what? I think this one's going to be a close one. I want to see the Buffalo Bills scratch this one out. I think the Ravens' time coming. I don't think it's this one yet. Not yet. That's my other team I think I'm going to send to the Super Bowl is Buffalo. So I think it's going to be Green Bay, Buffalo is my Super Bowl pick. Yeah.
Why would you? They still got to play the AFC Championship. You're a
They
little bit
do.
ahead of yourself. But anyway,
I do. I do.
anyway, you see what I'm saying, Glass?
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, man.
Algorithm,
Yeah.
brother, algorithm.
Right.
You see, and y'all
It got
y'all laughed at me
it
last
got
week.
a high 80+ % on that thing, so I ain't. Gonna
That's right. Come on now.
man.
Come on now. Come on. Let's do it. You act like it's 60%. It's not, okay?
So check it out. Of course, I like my team, but I'm gonna tell you why. We got two things that the Buffalo Bills don't seem to have, and I've been watching them. They last 6 games. It's because we was jockeying, or at least the last 4, because we've been jockeying for that 5th, 6th, 7th seed. Who was needing to lose or win or beat a team for us. So they got some holes. Their defense leaky. They Josh Norman can't seem to stay on the field. They're a different team.
Oh God, forgot about him.
To the point where they formidable on defense. You don't want to have to try to tackle Lamar in the elements. You better hope it don't snow. And we got the best kicker in the NFL. So if it's a slow game, it's a leaky game. If it's sticky, if it's a 9-6, 12, 15 type game, that favors us because we can get you from the 40.
Yeah, you read it. Yeah, I think so. You're true. That's true. I forgot about Josh Norman too.
Another tight one. I like us.
Norman ain't been the same since that Henry incident. He ain't been the same since.
I think didn't he get his interception this last game?
I don't know,
No,
man.
it was the last regular. He didn't play.
Okay, regular season.
But it was-
Yeah, I think Henry scrambled his brains a little bit. I don't know what's going. He's been
All
right.
right, I'm gonna tell you right now. I did pick the Bills, but I sat there and thought about it. I said, you know what? It's gonna be both. You got both quality running quarterbacks and everything. True that. I think if the Bills jump on the Ravens quick, it's going to be a problem for the Ravens to get back on that.
Correct.
But I don't think that's going to happen. I think if the Ravens leave it to the ground game and minimize the throw in the air, they got a better chance. I think, like I told you last week, I thought Dez was going to be the factor in that game. This week, I think Mark Andrews is going to be the factor in this game.
Yeah.
If
Tight
they
end play.
need that little quick 8 to 10 yard throw, they're going to throw to him.
Oh yeah.
I think it's going to rattle Josh Allen. I think, like I said, if Ravens stay physical and put hands on Josh Allen, they got a chance. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I think they're gonna get him at least once or twice.
Who, Josh Allen?
Oh, he gonna feel it.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
he's
I think
an
gonna get a
athletic
couple
guy
of-
too, so you can't let him get. People underestimate him and Herbert. They can run, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's gonna be a close game. It might go to a field goal, but I'm gonna go with the Ravens on this one. I did pick the Bills at first in my head, but after I sat here and thought about it, how the tables have turned, hell, the way the wild card weekend went,
I'm telling you, right?
A certain way.
I'm telling
Anything can happen.
You know,
I'm
so
telling you.
I got
All the
Ravens.
pundits and the aficionados swept us. There was only one person that picked the Ravens, and I
Yeah.
don't understand that because I'm not judging them on their last performance against the Colts. It's just some things that they are. That's been 6 weeks of what I saw. What Buffalo was against the Colts. That's who they is. I've seen that
Yeah.
for 6 weeks.
Mhm.
Ravens game against they're a tough team. I mean, the Titans had a number, obviously, but nobody's able to do what we did to Henry all season. So that's
Exactly.
confidence by itself to me.
Right.
Nobody been able to do that. We talking
Totally
about
agree.
2,000 yard back-to-back rushing title.
Mhm.
Come on.
Mhm. Yeah, it is.
All
All
right.
right.
Sunday game, first one up. Number 6 Cleveland Browns going up to Arrowhead Stadium to play the number 1 Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, I wish I could say this game was going to be entertaining, man. I feel like I kind of wish things didn't go the way they went last week against the Steelers. I wish the Browns could have played the Steelers would have been a little bit more competitive and actually showed us what the Browns can really do against a team of some type of stature. But just because of the way that game went, Look, I want to see the Browns do stuff. Look, they won one playoff game, and that's really all I expected them to do. You know what I'm saying? They did that, and I don't really expect too much more out of them. You know what I mean? And I actually feel like as bad, well, as in a nice situation as they was in last week, they're gonna feel what the Pittsburgh Steelers felt last week. Now we're gonna see pressure being put on Baker, mistakes being made, passes being dropped. it's gonna be ugly. I already know it. You know what I mean? I think they're walking into a buzzsaw, and it's only because they're feeling themselves right now. And I know, look, the coach wasn't even there last week, right? He wasn't even there, and they were still able to do what they did. So you know they're feeling some type of way, and you know Mr. Mophead gonna show them what time it is, and it's sad. But you know, what I'm gonna do is win that one game. Yeah, I expect them to win that one game. That's all.
That ain't backhanded, Glass. Come on.
What? Look. I like Patrick Mahomes. I'm just saying, you know. But yeah, he gonna humble the Browns though, and it's sad. And, you know, but we'll see. You know, I mean, we'll see how they respond to it. I hope that they kind of temper that swag a little bit when they walk into that stadium. I hope so. Or it's gonna be a long day for them. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
JB,
I'm taking KC, but I do think for the first half or first quarter and a half, the Browns will have that same energy, and there's gonna be some rust that KC gonna have to knock off. So it's gonna look competitive, but by the time the picture get fully painted, you know, there's gonna be some plays Cleveland wish they had back.
Oh yeah,
desperately.
Mm-hmm.
So KC and a 2-possession win, a 2-score win.
Okay. You know what came to my mind with this game right here? Just like what Big Q was talking about how hyped the Cleveland Browns are right now, especially after that win last week. It reminded me of that movie Glory at the end when they come on the fortress off the beach and they come around the corner, they all hyped, they get into the fortress, they go around that corner and they go those cannons. That's what we're gonna have right here.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be too much for Cleveland Browns to handle with all the weapons that Patrick Mahomes had. It's gonna be the close game in the first half, second half. We know what Kansas City do. They make it close.
Yeah.
Either you get a lead and they catch up and beat you, or at halftime they say, "Okay, stop playing. Let's go ahead and get."
All right, go ahead and kill them off.
Exactly.
TV ratings. We don't fulfill our obligations to make this thing competitive.
Exactly.
Take them out.
Okay. Right. So definitely, I got the Chiefs over the Browns. Browns, hey, congratulations, you proved me wrong.
Congrats, but definitely.
Yeah.
What you could do. Yeah, it's gonna be a whole nother beast when you come up into the Arrowhead Stadium. So we all got the Chiefs. Yep. All right, next up, we got the number 5 Tampa Bay Buccaneers going up to Mercedes-Benz Superdome, play the number 2 New Orleans Saints. Who we got?
So this is like my worst nightmare come to life here, right? Because you know, of course, I don't like to see Brady nowhere near the trophy. Listen, they hosting the Super Bowl in his stadium this year. So if he had no other, because he done broke every record, he done accomplished every accolade, he done did everything. He's the GOAT, right? But who has played and won the Super Bowl in their own stadium? Ain't nobody done that yet. So he still got something to play for, right? Still got something to play for. And luckily, my super savior is Aaron Rodgers. So hopefully, you know, because I just got a feeling the Saints. I mean, we done seen Alvin Kamara do some amazing things, score 6 touchdowns in one game. He had a big game last week. We finally saw Ken Guard Mike finally showed up last week, play a little bit, you know. He got some decent defense. I just got a feeling, though, man, they ain't got enough for Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay got everything. Tampa Bay has it all, right? And it's hard for me to like with that kind of talent that they got amassed on that team. It's hard for me. And they playing at home too, right? Or they playing in the dome? They're playing in the dome. They're going on the road, right?
In the dome.
Yeah. But it's still that's a lot of talent. I mean, they got that's an all-star team almost. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I think the Saints will probably make it competitive, but man, Brady them gonna win that one, man. And I'm hoping that Aaron Rodgers can save me, man, because you know I don't want to see that, man. So yeah, I'm picking the Bucks. Reluctantly, I don't want to, but it is what it is, right?
What you get?
I'm taking the Saints because the 2 games that they played in the regular season, nobody likes to get swept. And Tampa Bay was really needing that second one to hold some type of leverage of getting the top seed, and that didn't happen. I think the way the Saints playing right now is phenomenal. I think they're clicking on all cylinders, even if the stuff that you can't really put in the scoreboard or box score with Garner or CJ Garner, whatever his name is, getting receivers ejected. And I feel like Antonio Brown would be primed to Fall
Yeah.
victim to
You
his
know he
shenanigans
would.
because
He would. Yes, he
will get
would.
you out of there. He did it to Chicago twice.
Twice.
Yeah.
Whatever he doing is making a guy punch him in the helmet with their hands. So it's whatever it is, it's working. I just like the way Breeze and Kamara and the defense is playing right now. We ain't even talking about what you say, can't guard Mike, you call him.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
even-
yeah.
He even a factor in this, and they winning games.
Yeah, right, because he ain't been playing, you know?
I just like what they doing right now. I don't know if they'll get past the other 12, but they're gonna put the 3-peat on Tampa Bay.
Okay.
I hope so. I really do.
Man, I agree with JB, man. Gardner, man, if he go out there and get the wide receivers on the Bucks out of their game, they have a chance. They got a legitimate chance. They're playing at home. They're playing in the dome. Alvin Kamara, I think he still got a couple of more EDs up on his belt. But Tom Brady, he gonna find a way. Regular season and the playoff Tom Brady, two different animals.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? So
Yes.
we're gonna see something. He gonna be calm. If his wide receivers get in a flux and try to go up against Gardner, I'm sure he's gonna be on the bench and get in their face. They said, "Do anything about you. It's about the team. Let's go ahead, get your mind right, get yourself together." And he definitely got to talk to Antonio Brown. I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
During the game, he's gonna talk to him. I think everything gonna be calmed down. I think the Bucks defense gonna slow down the Saints to the point where they have a chance to win. I think they're gonna win by 10 points, actually.
Well,
So I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Bucks over the Saints.
I'm staying Saints, but I do want to add this too. I saw what Washington was able to do to Tampa Bay with the third or the quarterback that was off the street.
Right.
Just not promising. I'm telling you right now, Breeze is no Taylor Heineke. So.
Oh no, definitely not. I don't know. I just, man, you know, just the thought of Tom Brady and them going and playing for the right to go to the Super Bowl again. And like I said, the only accolade, look, this is another, the trophy don't mean nothing to him right now. He just wanted to be the one that won the Super Bowl in his own stadium. That's the accolade this year, not the trophy. He cared less about that. I don't know, man. It's
Godwin wasn't impressed with Mike Evans last week. This is the Washington professional football team secondary. I can't name a guy on their secondary.
Right. Yeah.
Now I know Godwin dropped a lot of balls, but and Fournette was the guy at the podium at the end, but unimpressed. Right. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I hope that's what happens. Because really, to see Brady to pack his bags and take it on back to the crib would be awesome for me, right? That's what I'm cheering for. Anyway, man, this is a really good show tonight, man. We had a really good discussion. I definitely enjoyed a lot of that. But man, we got a couple more weeks, and then we're gonna be talking about that Super Bowl coming up. This season kind of flew by. I mean, it kind of flew by. We wrapping it up, and everybody who's been kind of rocking with us, man, through this whole entire thing. I know we got basketball games and stuff on right now, but I'm glad y'all still rocking with us. We definitely appreciate it, and that kind of thing. Glass, you want to go ahead and put yourself over for the fans real quick?
All right, man. I appreciate everybody joining in on the show on social media. We really, really appreciate it. Had a fun time this evening, even though it's during COVID and everything. But it is what it is. If you don't find me here with my brothers, Big Q, JB on TeamBoydTV Live, you can follow me on all social media. But before that, let me just say, I'm be on the podcast tomorrow because just like you said with the NBA, with this trade between Cleveland, the net, I got to talk about this with what's his name, James Harden.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I'll be on in the morning. So follow me on the Sage Sports Podcast on Anchor FM, Spotify. Just find me on all the podcast platforms. Search for the Sage of Sports Podcast. I'll be on tomorrow. Give you some heat. Anyway, or follow me on all the social medias: Instagram, Facebook, Sage of Sports, Twitter at Sage of Sports 1, and email me at thesageofsports@gmail.com.
Sounds good, man. Sounds great. JB, maybe your team's run continue, man. I know you having a good time right now, and I'm out there. I don't want to have to sit and watch your team win another Super Bowl, just like I had to watch Vernie's team win multiple Super Bowls, Glass team win. Anyway, go ahead, put yourself over real quick. You know.
I ain't even gonna do it. Anyway, man, because we need to roll. Hey, thanks for everybody who watching 2 channels or just having a peek over here at what we're doing tonight. Appreciate you. Appreciate the few comments of the people that have trickled through. You can always find me here on Wednesday nights. Last few Wednesday nights we got, and on Twitter at Raven Shogun.
All right. Hey, fellas, it's been nice. Glass, looking forward to seeing what you're gonna bring on the podcast this week. I know Sunday's best ain't really been a thing because it's crazy, but we'll talk about it when we talk about it. But you guys have been great as always. Man, Lord willing, we'll do it again next week and talk about it and break it down right here. TeamBoydTV Live. We out of here. Peace.